Sagittarius, what's good? Welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having an awesome week so far. So for those of you who are returning, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate your likes, your shares, all those YouTubey things. And for those of you who are new, I'm serving up word salad, but it's going to, at least you'll have something to eat alongside with this journey. So let's go ahead and get into it. I am going to, well, we're not getting to it yet. I'm going to be doing a tarot card reading for the week of October 16th through the 22nd. And just so you're aware, I'm not normally this much of a hot mess, and that this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed, warmed up my tea, so promise, we're gonna get there, Sagittarius. So what I'm gonna be doing is pulling 15 cards. It's gonna be 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to be the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right hand corner are going to be some possible future outcomes you might be considering. The bottom left is going to be kind of like some perspectives to consider in relationship to the nature of the problem. And then on the bottom right is going to be whatever messages your higher self wants you to know. And if you are curious, I'm using the Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. Art on this stuff is super cool, so I will make sure to give you as many close-ups as I'm gonna give you close-up of all the cards because it's so cool. But without further ado, what does the higher self have in store for Sagittarius this week? Let's see what's happening. Right. Oof. Big energy. I tell you. The spirits are active. Nice. So I'm building up the anticipation. All right, let's get these cards organized and then we will jump right into this thing. Okie dokie. All right. Okay. Right, I dig it. All right, Saggy, let's get into it. Saggy. I won't call you that throughout that. Okay, moving on. So for the nature of your problem, you have the Knight of Wands. And the cards that came with it are the 5 of Swords and the 6 of Wands. So, with the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands, I like him. He's well, let me preface. He's a double-edged sword. So, on his positive side, he's bold, he knows what he wants, he's going to go out and get it. The knights they represent fire, the fiery part of whatever suit that they are in. And being that he is in the wand suit, he's the fieriest part of fire that fire's ever produced. So he is, wherever he's going, he's a trailblazer. We are going in hot, coming in fast. What you gonna do about it? And that's his energy here. And I feel like with that being your nature of your problem, you're trying to figure out where to channel that energy, because usually in this in the readings, the knights can indicate, depending on the direction that they're facing to the problem, it could be either the coming to or like you going, taking this energy and going towards something. But in this case, since it's the nature, I feel like the knight's just like, where are we going? It's like, I brought all this heat, but I don't know where to go. And I feel like that's getting you in this defeatist mindset. This, it's getting you a little anxious, this 5 of Swords energy. Because that's what this 5 of Swords is about. It's like, maybe it's focusing on either past mistakes, or maybe there was some kind of unexpected disturbance that's kind of popped up, or whatever that is, something has gotten in the way of this this Knight of Wands. You're not sure where to channel that, and it's just got you feeling kind of beat right now. And it's like, if anything with these, and I've been telling everyone, when you get cards like these that would be considered quote unquote negative cards, I feel like this is more inviting us to showing us where mindfulness can be exercised. Because this kind of defeatist sort of like that's sort of like worried, or that that you can't seem to get ahead, just like you're going 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. This is it's about adjusting that mindset, and because you got that Knight of Wands. You know, Sagittarius, you know how you are. You know, you're like that, you know, you're fun. One of my good friends' wife, she's a Sagittarius, love her to death. She's, you know, well, she and you are awesome. Always bringing this really big energy, you know, super, you know, really gregarious and, you know, just go-getters, ready to just go out and just spread the fun around. And I think that this is kind of reminding you that you are those things, you know, that you can, that this is whatever this moment is, you know, it could be a couple things coming at you different ways, but it's all temporary because you're going to get that balance again with this Six of Wands. And I say that too with them, you know, since I'm doing them in the groups of 3, when you got suits that are, you know, coming in, same suits in the same group, they enhance each other. And I really feel like you are coming into your victory here. This is about like balance, harmony, love, you know, victory. You know, we've gotten it. We found where you want to channel this energy, and we're going to go out and get it. And I like that the Six of Wands is here too, because his energy, when you look at it, it can be, and especially if you don't know what to do with it, that's a lot to deal with when you don't, especially if you don't know where to channel this fire. But I like that you got it, like how it's presented here. You got like, I think there are 9 flames in total. We're not mathing right now. But look how calm these flames are. You know, they've been equally distributed. You know, I feel like this is, and that's really appropriate with the Knight of Wands. I feel like really your challenge this week is, you know, once we've gotten over that 5 of Swords mentality, really using this energy responsibly. You know, realizing like, yes, you know, this is a double-edged sword, but I'm gonna use the right edge, you know, and I'm gonna use that right edge all the time. You know, we're gonna go at this with Six of Wands mentality, charge right ahead. And I like, you know what, if anything, not to say that the future stuff on the right here is any less cooler than this on the left, but I like that he is facing towards, he wants that Emperor energy. So, you know, and we're gonna get into this future. We're gonna play around with it too, because the nice thing, and another thing I've been mentioning, you know, these future outcomes, these are not the only, you know, these are not the only things that you're gonna, you know, the only options that you have. You know, we're staying in the present right now, and the nice thing is that the present is a reflection of your future. So if you want Emperor energy here, and you want to throw that over here, do it, because you can. You know what? While I'm talking about him, apparently he wants to be talked about. So let's go ahead and start over here. So for some future outcomes, oh, if you can't tell, I'm moving on. So for some future outcomes, we got one side, on the left-hand side, you got the Emperor, the 9 of Swords, and the 2 of Disc. So like I was saying, you know, now that we've taken that Knight of Wands, we've channeled that 6 of Wands energy, now we're the Emperor. Look at you. You've leveled up. You are boss level now. And I think that's, or at least I feel like with this energy popping up here, it's really kind of a reminder of what a boss you are. Because this is, man, Emperor, he woke up like this. You know, he doesn't think like, oh, I'm feeling a little less emperor-y than I was emperor-y. You know what I mean. Feeling less of an emperor than I was the other day. No, he's a boss all the time. And I think that this is reminding, him popping up there is more of a reminder here, because for some of you, I feel like you might be in this 9 of Swords energy. In 9 of Swords, it's really about that really kind of toxic, kind of cruel, malicious, really kind of like, you know, you take those, it's one thing, you know, where I'll have problems where it's like, I'm serving up word salad, can't quite get these fingers to shuffle right. You know, those are little playful things, you know, as far as like criticisms. But this 9 of Swords stuff, this is like some heavy shit. This is like, God, you're a loser, you know, blah, 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 this, that, you know, just really that defeatist mindset. And I don't feel that, and with this, and I say this just because when I think of cruelty, I don't feel like people are really cruel to others often. Honestly, I feel like it's more of the cruel things that we tell ourselves and how they can compound. Because you'll see at the bottom here, they're dripping blood. You know, they're not just there to bring you down. They're gonna hemorrhage you for everything you had. All these swords can represent mental, intellectual matters, and you know, being stuck in this 9 of Swords energy, This is really about, I think this is like, hey, it's time to show yourself some compassion. You are a boss. You're a boss. Stop that. Bosses don't think like that. When a boss thinks like that, they'll handle it with that same grace. Whether it be the Six of Wands or it's a Nine of Swords. Bet you this Emperor is still looking like this at the end. He's gonna. That's not going to change the fact that, I may not be feeling great, but don't get it twisted. I'm still the Emperor. So keep that in mind. And I like that this kind of came here too with this Two of Discs, because the Two of Discs is about change. It is about, maybe you've been stuck in this mentality, and it's time to get comfortable with that. Because that's not to say Nine of Swords ain't gonna go away. Nine of Swords moments do happen. But it's, if we learn how to handle those situations a lot better, find the wisdom. Because all this is saying here is just like, when's the last time you showed yourself some compassion? You've been so cruel this whole time. Tell yourself how great you are. Aren't we the Emperor? I'm pretty sure I was the shit last time I remember waking up. But, I mean, if you want to talk about all the bad stuff, I guess we can. But I feel that, I feel like you are, Sagittarius, that you're realizing this. Either, hold on, it'd be really nice, and let me know if this message got you thinking about what a boss you are. Because I'm taking on the role of cheerleader this week, and I'm taking it on proudly. I'm all about, I want to lift you up, and by the time we're done here, your ego's not going to be able to get out the door. We're going to feel so bossy. But I digress. We're going with this Two of Disc energy. I feel like this is really, calling you to learn to be okay in that ebb and flow. That, this is Jupiter and Capricorn. So think of this as like, Jupiter's about fortune, expansion, things like that, and then Capricorn is about that work. They're hard workers, dedicated. Some of you might have Capricorn in your chart, but it's about like, when things are really good, like, yes, we're doing great. And then when it's like really bad, it's like, okay, we're putting in the work. Okay, I got to put a little more initiative this week, okay, time to practice some compassion so that I can get back here to get to this fortune again. But ultimately, with this energy, I like to think that really the sweet spot is right in between there, where you really find that harmony of, the negative and the positives. They're not just like happening anymore. These are things that you have like better control over, because we've worked on that. We've been kind to ourselves, and we're getting back to that boss level Emperor energy. So that's some stuff that's for at least for some of you here. That's what I'm getting over there. Yell at me if you need anything else, Emperor. On the right hand side, let me grab these. Okay. On the right hand side, for some others, I pulled the Star card, the Seven of Wands, and the Sun. And yes. And see, this is where I was talking about, like, this is an equally good, future outcome, I feel the future is what we're making it. We're going for good here, Sagittarius. So, if you want to take this Emperor energy and apply it to the Star card, what a better thing to do, because the Star card is about hope. This is realizing, and also just realizing you are a star. Look at you shining. Look at you making your own world back here, and look at that, just gems falling at your feet. That's what's up. And this card can also represent, too, like unexpected help. But what I'm really getting here is more of like that hope is coming back for you. You've been feeling this loss, but the star is shining. This is just like, hey, sometimes we need like it's like when you're like lost in the woods, and you're looking up to the sky. We're trying to find the what is that called? The North Star. that thing, that thing in the sky. That's what the Star card is. This is this is about that hope, and I like that. I love that you got hope and you got the Sun. And even in between here, with the Seven of Wands energy. The Seven of Wands energy is about asking you, to be courageous, to go ahead and go out and claim that energy, to really go get that happiness, go get that Sun. Sun's been popping up quite a bit, but go get that Sun. This is like small victories. look at all these wands here. You got everything lined up here. The only thing that is getting in the way is this energy here. This energy here, which I say is you. This is, you got everything you need. Go out and get it, because the sun is right there. The sun. I mean, I don't think I have to explain the sun to you, but this is everything. Warm and fuzzy, happiness, victory, triumph, just all the insert positive word here, that is the sun. And that's what really, I feel like for both futures, that's what we're trying to get to. So it don't even, we can factor this in, play around with what you will, but end game is the sun. I want to see, by the end of this week, Sagittarius, when I'm walking about, I just want to see emperors basking in the sun. I'm just going to assume that all of you, and if people are doing this, I'm going to assume you're emperors. That would be, honestly, that would make my whole life. So let's go ahead and do that. Let me know where you're doing it. I might even come and join you. But we want the sun. We want happiness. So yeah, I'm not gonna beat this future down too much. I feel like that's some really good stuff there, Sagittarius. So stay strong. Keep that boldness, keep that drive that I know you have, because there are good, you're getting ready to come out on the other end of this. Okay. Now let's get down to the bottom left here with some perspectives that you can consider to the nature of the problem. And we got the counterpart to the Emperor. We got this Empress here. We have the Princess of Wands, and then we have the Prince of Disc. I love when the Empress pops up. Self-care. I'm sure it doesn't actually say that in the description. If you look at the handbook, she's about like beauty, love. She's Venus. Aesthetics, everything that is pleasant in the world, that's what she's all about. But for me, she is self-care 101. Her energy is just as big a thing. Look at these two looking at each other. You bossy and you bossy. Couple bosses here. Look at all this boss energy you got here. But with the Empress, I feel like this is kind of asking you to, if you haven't, while you've been maybe like kind of frazzled in this stuff, when you don't really have an outlet to channel that, like all this energy, that can be really stressful, and that's going to wear down on you. And I feel like what the Empress is just saying here is to be able to maintain that Empress, this royal energy. Even the Emperor needs some self-care. Their counterparts is, he's about that, like that confidence. This is just like, yo, I know how great I am. She's like, okay, that's great. Yeah, we are great, but we also have to look good while we're being great. So, she's getting her rest. She's making sure he's getting his rest. They're taking care of their environments. Everything is just lovely. And that's what this Empress energy is. It is not to diminish the strength of that. I know that sometimes, with myself included, when I think of self-care and when I'm trying to do something for myself, it's hard, especially if you need to really rest. It's kind of hard when you're used to just like go, to be like, to not feel guilty in taking care of yourself. And that's why I feel like with her being here, she's not guilty about how good she looks, because everybody else appreciates the time that she took to take care of herself. I'm always super excited when she shows up. So I feel like be excited for taking care of yourself, because the results are going to be great, because then you can get back to trailblazing and showing people what a boss you are. Okay? And I love the Princess of Wands here too. I feel like in this instance, this is about that ambition. She's she's kind of similar caveat with the Knight of Wands. She can be a little reckless at times, maybe. In the book, I know they'll talk about this is her. She's naked because she's proud of the energy that she's presenting. But for most of the time, I just feel like I think she forgot her clothes. She got really excited. She wanted to show people this hat and this tiger that she's turned into a cape, that she forgot her clothes. She didn't do proper self-care, and now, now we're just rushing, as opposed to, taking that, being thoughtful with how we're doing things. But she also, for me, represents that ambition. She's that type to not be ashamed in being yourself. And when you're going out and, tackling, wherever you're channeling this Knight of Wands energy to, go out and be proud of that. She's not ashamed. She's got her, I don't know what's going on with this hat. She's got this crazy hat. Her tiger's not ready. This tiger's asleep, but she's just like, okay, that's fine. I'll wrap it around here. Like, it'll be cool. I got this. She's got her wand. We're manifesting things. And that's why I feel like she's a firecracker. This is like keeping that energy. It's like, this, it's easy to get lost in this defeat mentality or defeatist mentality. But Princess of Wands is there to be like, she's like, if you ever feel like that fire's died, she's just there to remind you that, of course it hasn't. It just might be time to redirect that. Maybe, the tiger wasn't ready, but so she focused on the hat. But that's not to say that she forgot about this tiger. It's just like she knows what she works with what she has. And I feel like, once you get that figured out, Sagittarius, things are going to be great. See, look at that. The spirits were trying to jump out because they confirmed with that. Lastly, Prince of Disc here. And that's funny that he pops up because I've been talking about this going. So for some of you, I'm getting with the Prince of Disc here. Go out, but don't forget to be mindful. Take that time, be patient with yourself. The Prince of Disc for me is about patience, stability, perseverance. He's a very responsible card. And I feel like this is just, keep that energy. We love these wands energy. But there is such a thing about going in too hot too fast. I feel like you're finding that balance of like keeping that momentum, but keeping that energy and keeping it using it wisely, spreading that out where we're not just like one hit wonder, where you're burning out. So that's what I'm feeling with this with the Prince of Disc here. And it could also be too with the princes, and you don't have any queens here, but with the princes and the queens, they can represent people too. So this could be, too asking you to, maybe you need to find someone if that's what you struggle with is slowing down, that patience. You just want, wait, I want shit and I want it now. This might be, find that person that's going to ground you, and hey, it could be a beautiful partnership. You already might have this person in your life. This is the princes represent the airy part of whatever suits they're in, and so he's in the airy part, or he's the airy part of Earth. So you could could have an earth sign, you could have an air sign in your what am I trying to say? Your support system. I had a better word for that. But this could be, what I'm getting at with that is that this could help with this person too. They're going to help you kind of slow down, but you might help them, like where they might drag their feet sometimes. Because that's the only bad thing I would possibly say about the Prince of Disc is that maybe he can be a little stubborn in his ways, and he might, like, if he doesn't like the way something's going, he might drag his feet like a little too long. He might be moving like the Hierophant here, which I'll talk about the Hierophant in a second. But this could help you to find that balance. He'll be there to kind of ground you, slow you down a little bit, but you'll be there when it's time to start Knight of Wandsing. You'll be there to push that up, and this could be a really, there's your Ouroboros right there. That you're living. You found that happy dance. So, and then maybe things go well, might do a happy dance. So. I don't, you know what? We're going to move on from that. I won't spend too much time on that, Sagittarius. But I hope you get the gist of that. I'm hoping this is resonating with some of you. Really, I want it to resonate with all of you, but at least some of you. I feel like that's really what I'm getting with some perspectives in here. Really finding that balance, but always, I don't feel like I can emphasize self-care enough. Self-care, and it doesn't necessarily mean... it doesn't always have to be like, oh, let's take a spa day, let's go on vacation. It could just honestly be something as simple as, maybe, body's been feeling a little tight. Maybe I'm gonna do some yoga today. Maybe treat the body to to something like that. Maybe I'm gonna take a bath. Maybe I'll go buy some of those like bath salts and kind of sit in that. Kind of whatever, however big or small. Self-care is important. Self-care. All right. Sorry. Whenever the Empress pops up, her and I, we got history. I get on when she pops up because she just wants you to take care of her. She wants this world to be just as beautiful as she is, and because she knows that it is possible. So keep that in mind, Sagittarius. Let's move on, because your higher self wants you to know that the Hierophant is here, the Three of Discs is here, and the Three of Swords is here. Now, with this Hierophant is very similar with this with the Prince of Disc. He's very much about patience, perseverance, divine wisdom. I'm feeling with him popping up here for what your higher self wants you to know is that you are everything that I just said. Apply that to this moment. Take the divine wisdom that you're getting from figuring out how to get in that change, and getting all that balance. Take everything you've just learned through this reading and how you're going to apply it to your life, and really go out and apply that. And it could also be too, the Hierophant can represent a teacher. So it could be maybe you need someone to teach you how to self-care. Maybe you need someone to teach you how to, whatever, if this Knight of Wands energy is for, maybe you're getting ready to start a project or something like that. This could be too. Maybe you need to find, maybe you're looking for a teacher, or a specialist, a master in whatever this field that you're looking for. So that's another option too. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling with the Hierophant here. And I was gonna say too, with how moving slow. You don't want to move as I like that the Hierophant is about patience and all of that. But my caveat with him, where the King of Wands can move really fast, the Hierophant, according to can move. I think he moves like every 2,000 years. So I mean, if you got that kind of time, whatever. I'm here again, not here to judge. But if we can move a little faster, I'm all for it. And I bet you are too. So that's what I'm getting with the Hierophant here. With the Three of Discs is about work. This is Mars and Capricorn here. So it's just by really going out and getting something started. This could be you starting. There's that project I was talking about. Maybe starting up a project, but I'm getting towards this. I think I'm more so feeling with this card that this is going to take some work to get to this bossy level. Empress, Emperor energy doesn't happen overnight, but that doesn't mean that it's not within us already. It just has to be worked on, and it is requiring, this is like your initiative card. This is like taking those steps to get there. It's gonna feel a little laborious at times, but man, when you're look at the end, look at how these two have evolved. You've balanced each other out. And now this could be you and your friend, you and your partner, you and whomever. This could be you and your higher self. Whatever this relationship looks like it's going to take some work, but look at that work at the end of the day. Looking at you, boy. Looking at you, girl. Now, with this Three of Swords here, I feel like the Three of Swords is here. You're like, well, Justin, I don't want to wait. That's bullshit. Well, I get it. I know that sucks. That can kind of get you in your feels. But it's going to be worth it. I really believe that wholeheartedly, that it is going to impact your life in a way that this Three of Swords isn't a thing. Anything that might have this defeatist mentality, this whatever you've been worried about, whatever disturbance has been coming in, I don't feel like that's going to. I think you're gonna. Well, I know you're gonna work through that, Sagittarius. This card is also too can be a card of just in general. It's just a card of sorrow, of melancholy. So you could just be. It may not even apply to this situation in particular. You could just be kind of down in the dumps in general. And I'm here to tell you it's all right. You're not alone in this. Maybe this is too. This is to maybe reaching out to talk to someone, and it does. I'm not necessarily saying because this is not medical advice. I'm not necessarily saying talk with a therapist, but sometimes it's nice to, hit up a friend, hit up a teacher, a mentor, And, you know, just kind of maybe, you know, just kind of work out some ideas. You know, it's like, hey, I've been thinking about doing such and such, you know, but I'm not sure about X and Y, you know, X, Y, and Z. You know, and the person might bring in some fresh perspectives to kind of help you get back to that balance. You know, because yeah, the three of swords is, it's just that there's, yeah, just something that's, I feel like, yeah, something for some of you, yeah, something, it could be that it, you know, just energy's just been a little low this week, but no, that's, you know, once you know, once that it's that pain, that feeling of that sorrow and stuff starts to lessen, you know, you can start taking that energy and channeling it elsewhere. You know, give this the space that it needs. You know, I'm never one to say ignore something, because that's how things fester and then become way bigger than it should have. And then we went from a three of swords and we got a devil moment. And, you know, devil moments are welcome, but not ones that we just bring about just cause. And, you know, I feel like this is definitely, again, with these negative cards, just give this negative cards. Mournful, we're calling for mindfulness. You know, what has been, have you just been putting on a, you know, a strong face? You know, be with these emotions. They, you know, we are, yeah, it's safe to transition back over. You know, I feel like, you know, sometimes we get, get trapped up in, oh, I had a really good point, but I just lost it. It's gonna be all right, Sagittarius. Oh, and that's lame. But I want to. Oh, I know. These situations right here. Ooh, let me see. You know, sometimes shit gets off a little bit. All you gotta do is just turn it a little. You know, shift things a little bit. Get back to that equilibrium, and everything is gonna be all right. You know, and. I forgot who else I told this. You know, but if you need to hear this, if you're feeling down at like 3 a.m, pull up this video. You know, I know they're set for different weeks, but sometimes it's nice to just hear like little pick-me-ups where you can. And the nice thing too, if you hit me up at 3 a.m, you're playing this video, I'm not gonna be mad at you. The only thing I'm gonna do is tell you that you're great and that it's gonna be okay. Like, you're not alone in this. You know, you don't have to be. You're an emperor. You're so bossy. Are they both looking at me? Look at me. You are awesome. You're awesome, and I'm personally not concerned, and I know that with some time you're going to be good too, Sagittarius. So I hope this resonates with you. I won't push that any further. Please like, share, subscribe. And just for a clearer picture of you, and it might help you, you know, figure out where to channel this energy. Check your moon, check your rising. And I'm telling people, check your Venus this week. You know, see the building blocks that is you. You know, once you get to learn yourself, you know, and get a bigger, just a better idea of who you are, it's so much easier to get to this sun moment. Yes, we love the sun. So, all right. Is that it? That it, crew? I think that's it. Now, we're going to move on to Celestial News Weekly. So I'm making it this game because I love Celestial News Weekly. And you're not the only one who gets a ridiculous one. Everyone's. And I think that's just going to be the thing just going throughout. Because it's so much fun. Because you know, the news can be kind of depressing, just regular news in general. And what I like to tell people is, you know, you check the weather before you're going to go outside. Think of this as like your weather break. You know, you're checking weather if you're going outside. Why not check the celestial weather when you're going to do anything in general? So anything to help get this night on track, we're going for it. So first bit of, let me get this organized here because I'm sure I'm going to pull up more cards and gotten in this habit of it. We're just throwing cards everywhere. First thing, on the 17th of this month is the last quarter moon. And this is a time that represents transitions, you know, things coming to completion, letting go of any things that's not holding us, you know, serving us any purpose. You know, you've given it the space, and not to say we're not just discarding them. We're dealing with them. Hey, I get it. Now let's put this elsewhere. You know, this is that kind of time. And like taking stock too, you know, own your mistakes, but also own your accomplishments. This is an accomplishment. Look at this. I wish you two would look at each other. Compliment or accomplishments. Stay with me. But yeah, that's about what the new moon is. It's about, or the last quarter moon. This is about that sort of like, we're getting on that last tail end of things. You're getting ready to get into that new moon cycle. Next, I went retrograde crazy last week, so I kept it kind of like this week. I'll bring in retrogrades as they come up. But there's still 4 in retrograde, as far as I know. Yes, there's still 4. But for the fun one that you might not have known about, Chiron is in retrograde right now. Well, it's been in retrograde since like back in July. But if you're not familiar with Chiron, it was, when it was discovered, it was, which for your history buffs, it was discovered in 1977. And it was classified as an asteroid and then was later reclassified as a minor planet. And it orbits in between Saturn and Uranus. And Chiron is it has to deal with trauma in all aspects of that, it happening in the healing part of it. At least that's where the retrograde kind of comes into. But Chiron is known as the wounded healer. It's named after the centaur from Greek mythology. Chiron trained, I think it's Hercules and Achilles. Now I'm just throwing random facts at you. Oh crap, I forgot to tell. Well, I'm gonna tell you about this. But yeah, with it being in retrograde, this is a time of catharsis. Like really and not to say that these can't be traumas too. Whatever trauma's big or small, this is about kind of like, okay, we're feeling sorrow this week. What's that about? And and showing that. Oh, I forgot. Oh, we had another one over here. We're showing that compassion. I'm glad that popped up. Popped up when it needed. We're showing that compassion for ourselves. And, we're giving it that time. It's like, okay, I hear you. Oh, you know what? Let me go back to this one. I'm not ready to hear you yet. Take it in strides. Your body knows when it's ready to process something. And I know that the healing can feel uncomfortable, can be a lot, but once you come at the end of it, it makes you more compassionate so that you can help someone else who might be going through a similar experience. And it's just like, it really is this beautiful thing that can blossom. So that's what Chiron retrograde is about. It's really, really lovely. Oh, I don't know where you came from. Okay. Last couple things, since the news overall was a little light this week, so I'm throwing in, when that happens, I'm going to start throwing in some aspects. And aspects are kind of like how the planets are in relationship to each other, and then how that energy would affect us. It can affect us specifically with our natal chart, but more so just I'm looking more so as a whole. So, for example, wait a minute. The sun is trine with oh, no, that won't apply. The sun is trine with Mars this week, Trine, and that means it's within 120, the angle's like 120 degrees with Mars. Imagine this is 120 degrees. And it ends on the 26th of this month, and all that means is that there's this like impetus to just like start going out and doing stuff. This is Knight of Wands energy. This is, I can honestly... Thank you for this, Sagittarius. I'm going to tell the rest of the signs that's basically what this is when it pops up. It's Knight of Wands energy. You just got that feeling of, you just want to go out and do shit. This like, I don't know, like I want to go plant a garden and then, I don't know, maybe go train a puppy. Whatever you do with this energy, you know what you do. I don't know your lives. Staying on course. But that's pretty much, that's what the sun being trine with Mars means. And lastly, you have Pluto, which is squared, Venus, which is squared with Pluto, being at a 90-degree angle. Again, imagine this is 90 degrees. And it ends on the 25th, and all that means is just kind of being aware of where there's any discord in our relationships. Maybe someone moves a little too fast for you, or maybe someone's moving a little too slow, instead of like fighting, this is kind of like, hey, I would love it if you did this, and it's like, hey, can I help you do this? And, then you can help me do that, and then now we're simpatico, we're leveling each other. Yeah, you're looking at each other. We're leveling each other up. Look at how you've evolved. This is, and that's really about Oh, right, we're talking about aspects. Yes, but with Venus being square with Pluto, yeah, this is kind of that time to maybe address some things that might be that might just get under your skin a little bit, but doing it in a way that's not going to just blow everything up. This is sort of like the analogy that I kind of been using is, even aside from that little show there, it was more a better one would be like, someone comes home and it's like, hey, you're sitting down, you got we're discussing the day, and it's just like, hey, have I done anything? It's just a random question, have I done anything to offend you this week? I just want to make sure that I'm being mindful, and then that opens up that door of reciprocity where it's like, oh, I hadn't thought about it. Have I done anything for you? That's, and look at that. Look at that. Something beautiful has come from that. So, yeah, I think it's a good place to leave it, Sagittarius. So before you go, since you stuck around with me through all of that, I'm going to pull one card at the bottom here, a little surprise card. Ha ha ha! The Lovers. I love it. So the Lovers is, obviously about love. I'd like to think, honestly, this is first and foremost, love yourself. But this also is a card of, it can be of like imagination, intuition, inspiration. This is, I feel like this card kind of showing up here too. It's just like, finding that, kind of reigniting that spark, finding what brings you passion, what brings you love, what is that? And then go towards that. Don't do that. Don't run away from it. Go towards it, because we want to, I'll eventually get this left right thing. We want love. I want you to do the thing that you love. I feel like this is a great place to, if here's the answer for you. This is where I want you to run to. I want you to run here. Run here and run fast. This is what we want. So I hope this helps, Sagittarius. I had fun. Please have fun with the rest of your week. Be mindful of that energy. Let's do some awesome shit, and I will catch you on the next one. Later.